The sands of Egypt hide more than temples and tombs. They hide a secret, a truth that the pharaohs carried with them, a truth they never meant for common eyes to see. When we think of ancient Egypt, we imagine pyramids, mummies, golden sarcophagi. We think of gods like Ra, Osiris, Isis, and Horus, worshipped in great ceremonies, painted on tomb walls, sung in hymns. But what if that was only the surface? What if behind the bright masks of religion lay a hidden faith, a faith reserved only for the pharaohs and their closest priests? For the Egyptians, religion was everywhere. Farmers prayed to the Nile for its flooding. Families prayed to Hathor for fertility, to Anubis for protection in death. But the pharaohs? They worshipped something different. They claimed to be gods on earth, children of the sun, rulers by divine blood. And this was no metaphor. In secret chambers deep within temples, hieroglyphs reveal mystery rites that hint at a second religion. One not for the people, not even for most priests, but for kings alone. We find its traces in the pyramid texts, the oldest sacred writings of Egypt. They were never meant for public eyes. Carved inside royal tombs, hidden from the living. These texts do not speak of prayers for crops or daily rituals. They speak of transformation, of the pharaoh's body dissolving into starlight, of his soul joining Ra on the solar bark that sailed across the heavens, of becoming an eternal god, not just a man who ruled. This was not religion for the masses. This was a secret doctrine of immortality. But how was this transformation achieved? The texts hint at rituals we still cannot fully decode. They speak of consuming the gods themselves, of eating divine flesh, of drinking celestial liquids, of fire purifying the king's body until only his immortal essence remained. One chilling line from the pyramid text reads, "The king eats men, he feeds on gods. He devours their knowledge, he swallows their magic." What does it mean? Some scholars believe it was symbolic that the pharaoh absorbed the powers of the gods through ritual chants. Others whisper of darker possibilities, of sacrificial rites long hidden, erased from official records. We also know that the pharaohs kept secrets even from their people. Take Akhenaten, the heretic king. He declared that all of Egypt should worship a single god, the Aten, the sun disk. But was this truly a revolution? Or was Akhenaten simply making public a secret doctrine pharaohs had always known? That behind the many gods, there was one hidden power? And here lies the greatest mystery. Did the pharaohs have two religions? One for the people, with dozens of gods, myths, and festivals. And another, hidden one, reserved only for themselves, a secret path to immortality? In every Egyptian temple, the holiest chamber was called the sanctuary of the god. No commoner ever entered. Even priests could not cross its threshold without permission. Only the pharaoh could stand before the god's statue. Only he knew what rituals were whispered there. The people prayed outside in the courtyards. But the true rites, the secret religion, those were performed in darkness. But what was this hidden faith? Some clues suggest it was not about worshiping gods, but becoming one. The pharaoh was not merely Ra's servant. He was Ra's flesh. He was Horus alive. And when he died, he became Osiris, ruler of the dead. It was a cycle, a sacred transformation that no farmer or craftsman could ever hope to share. For ordinary Egyptians, the afterlife meant judgment before Osiris. For pharaohs, it meant joining the gods themselves. And so the question lingers. Did the pharaohs truly believe in the same gods as their people? Or was that only a mask, a story told to keep the people obedient, while behind closed doors they practiced something entirely different? The answer may lie in fragments, in tomb inscriptions, in strange hieroglyphs scratched into hidden walls, in rituals that seem to describe something far older than the Egypt we know. But there is one thing we can say with certainty. the pharaohs ruled with more than armies. They ruled with secrets. And perhaps in their religion of shadows lies the real key to their power. The more we peel back the layers of Egyptian belief, the more unsettling the picture becomes. Because the pharaohs were not only priests of a hidden faith, they may have been initiates of something far older. Inside the deepest chambers of temples like Abydos and Karnak, archaeologists have found inscriptions not meant for public eyes. They are not prayers. They are not myths. They are instructions. Instructions for rites of transformation. In these rituals, the pharaoh was no longer just a ruler. He became a living god through blood, fire, and darkness. The texts speak of purification, of the opening of the mouth, of offerings whispered into sealed chambers. But they also speak of something more chilling, the transfer of divine essence. Some lines hint at what modern scholars call sympathetic magic, the belief that eating or drinking a thing gave you its power. If the king consumed the sacred animals of a god, the bull of Apis, the ibis of Thoth, the crocodile of Sobek, he consumed the god itself. He swallowed its divinity. And then came the whispers of human sacrifice. Egyptologists rarely speak of it. Most deny it. But fragments of the pyramid texts, combined with strange burial patterns, suggest that in the earliest dynasties, kings may have been buried with their servants, not as honor, but as sacrificial offerings. Hundreds of bodies arranged around a tomb, as though their lives were fuel for the pharaoh's passage to the stars. By the Middle Kingdom, this practice vanished. But the texts still hint at symbolic cannibalism, of devouring gods, of drinking their blood. And behind the symbols, some see traces of real rituals hidden away in forbidden chambers. One of the darkest mysteries lies in the Book of the Dead. For the common people, it was a manual for survival in the afterlife. But the versions found in royal tombs are different. They contain spells that ordinary Egyptians never saw. Spells that speak of merging with the primeval gods, of bending time, of commanding even Osiris himself. These were not prayers. They were formulas of power. The pharaoh's hidden religion may have also been a religion of fear, because secrecy was everything. Only the high priests of Heliopolis, only the initiates of Memphis, only the chosen guardians of Ammonius knew fragments of the truth. Even the scribes were forbidden to copy the highest rites. Some formulas were passed down only by whisper, from king to priest, from priest to successor. To break this secrecy was to die. We see hints of this in the strange legends that surrounded certain pharaohs. Seti I, who built great temples, was said to walk at night dressed as Osiris, performing rites that even his priests were not allowed to watch. Ramses II, remembered as the great warrior, was rumored to spend nights in hidden shrines, performing rituals of rejuvenation to keep his body strong against age. But the most striking case is Akhenaten. He broke the secrecy. He dared to turn the pharaoh's hidden faith, the worship of one sun god, the Aten, into public religion. And for this, history tried to erase him. Temples smashed, statues defaced, his name scratched out. As though the priests were not only punishing a heretic, but sealing away a truth too dangerous for the masses. But what was so dangerous? Why could the people not be allowed to know? Because the hidden faith was not about worshiping gods at all. It was about becoming one. The pharaoh's rituals were about harnessing cosmic power, about claiming the right to rule not as a man, but as a divine being walking among mortals. If commoners believed they too could ascend, if priests outside the royal circle learned the full rites, the entire system of power would collapse. The pharaoh's supremacy rested on his monopoly of the mysteries of immortality. But there is another layer. Some scholars believe the secret religion was not even Egyptian in origin. They argue it came from something older, from the mysterious priests of the first dynasties, perhaps even from civilizations lost before Egypt rose. Strange symbols in the pyramid texts do not match Egyptian myth. They speak of gods that do not appear elsewhere, of stars long forgotten, of a hidden fire that grants life to the dead. Were these the echoes of a forgotten cult absorbed by the pharaohs, kept alive only in the deepest shadows of their temples? And then there's the greatest mystery of all. Why did later pharaohs, even in the time of the Ptolemies, still cling to these hidden rites, long after Egypt had changed, long after Greek and Roman gods walked their temples? Why did even Cleopatra perform midnight rituals in secret shrines, praying not to Isis, but to something far older? Perhaps because the secret religion promised the one thing no empire, no army, no wealth could ever guarantee: immortality. The pharaohs were not content to be remembered. They wanted to endure, not just in memory, not just in stone, but in flesh, in soul, in eternity. And so we arrive at the chilling possibility that the greatest monuments of Egypt, the pyramids, the temples, the tombs, were not built for gods at all. They were built as machines for immortality, tools of a hidden religion that the pharaohs guarded for thousands of years. And if that is true, then the pharaohs may not have been the only ones who knew. Perhaps fragments of this secret faith escaped. Perhaps it did not die in the sands. Perhaps it lived on, passed through secret orders, shaping religions that came after. The pharaohs may be gone, but their secret religion may still be with us. The sands of Egypt bury more than stone. They bury secrets, but some secrets refuse to stay buried, because the forbidden faith of the pharaohs did not die with them. It may have slipped into the bloodstream of later civilizations, disguised in new names, cloaked in new rituals. When Alexander the Great conquered Egypt, he bowed not only to priests of Ammonius, but to the mystery rites hidden in their temples. The Greeks had their own initiations, the Eleusinian mysteries, where initiates swore silence about visions of death and rebirth. But after Alexander, Greek philosophers wrote about Egyptian wisdom as if it were older, deeper, more dangerous. Plato himself hinted at it. He spoke of souls trapped in cycles, of secret paths to liberation. Where did these ideas come from? Some scholars whisper, from the pharaoh's secret books. Centuries later, Rome arrived. The empire swallowed Egypt, and with it, they swallowed its mysteries. In Rome, Egyptian cults flourished. The worship of Isis spread like wildfire, a goddess of life, death, and rebirth. But Isis in Rome was not the gentle mother of Egypt. She was the guardian of secret initiations, of hidden rituals in torchlit chambers. The pharaoh's hidden religion had found new life in the mystery cults of the Roman world, cults that promised initiates not just salvation, but eternal life. It was no longer the pharaoh who monopolized immortality. Now, ordinary men and women could claim it, but only if they dared to step into the darkness of forbidden rites. And then came something even greater, a new faith rising in the shadows: Christianity. At first, it was the religion of the oppressed, the crucified, the powerless. But look closer, and you see echoes of something older. The idea of dying and being reborn, of eating and drinking the essence of divinity, of salvation through mysteries hidden from the uninitiated. Some early Christian writers even admitted it. They accused the Egyptian cults of imitating them, or perhaps it was the other way around. Could the pharaoh's secret obsession with eternal life have bled into the very foundation of Christianity itself? Even after Rome fell, whispers of Egypt's hidden faith survived. The Hermetic texts, attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, speak of divine ascent, of hidden fire, of the soul becoming a star. These writings influenced alchemists, mystics, even Renaissance scholars. But many believe they are not Greek inventions at all. They are fragments of the pharaoh's forbidden books, smuggled through centuries, disguised, but never destroyed. So we must ask, what was the true secret religion of the pharaohs? Was it merely a royal cult of power, keeping kings above their people? Or was it a genuine system of knowledge, a science of immortality, encoded in rituals, hidden in monuments, preserved through silence? The pyramids themselves begin to look different in this light. Not tombs, but machines of transformation. Their chambers aligned to stars, their passages echoing with ritual chants, their stones carved to resonate with vibration. Could they have been tools, not for the dead, but for the living to ascend beyond death? And if this was the Pharaoh's secret, then it was never truly lost, because the hunger for immortality is still with us. It fueled alchemy. It fueled mysticism. It fuels even today's science, searching for ways to conquer aging, to upload consciousness, to cheat the grave. The Pharaohs may have begun it, but humanity has never stopped chasing it. And so, the chilling thought remains. Perhaps the Pharaohs succeeded. Perhaps their secret religion was not just faith, not just theater. What if, in some way we cannot yet grasp, they did achieve immortality? Perhaps they still walk among us, not as bodies, but as forces, as whispers, as eternal presences watching from the shadows of history. And if they do, then the religion of the Pharaohs never truly died. It lives in the stones, in the stars, in every human who refuses to accept death as the end. Because the greatest secret of all was not in their temples, or their books, or their gods. It was in a single question they left behind, a question that still haunts us. What if death is only an illusion?